Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's time for Hollywood on the Rocks. Today on the show, we are hours away from the premiere of Marvel's new series on Disney Plus, Agatha All Along. And we will be discussing our early reaction. The first 4 episodes. We've got plenty of movie news. Alan Ng is waiting in the wings. He's always waiting. He's waiting in the wings. He really is. So let's get things started and let's go. It's Hollywood on the Rocks on a Wednesday. Let's go.
Mr. Gore, who the heck is Alan? And you want me to say what? Okay, cool. Alan.
How did you get Johnny Depp to say that?
You know, I have to warn you, but that is illegal in California now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we will talk about that.
I think we are breaking the law every show now.
Let me break the law again.
Hello, Chris. I would like to thank Film Threat for reviewing all my films and, most importantly, reviewing indie films. Now let's get the show on the road. Where is he? Alan.
2 counts now.
Now, if you make him say at the end, go out and vote, that becomes a political ad, and that's even more severe. So.
Well, we try to not be,
I was thinking, Chris, why Alan hides from you every week. Well, anyway, let's just call him Alan.
That's my favorite.
By the way, that one is, I think it's probably not fake.
Dude, where the hell is this guy and what is he waiting for? Get over here. Alan.
If you say it 3 times, you appear.
Did he say beaver juice?
Different franchise.
I don't understand that.
Different franchise there. So, well, we will talk about that one. There's so much today. There is so much. We have to launch right in.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
It's like I'm Googling myself.
Why? This needs to end. It's over. It was over a few weeks ago. No more birthday stuff. Please, seriously.
Yes, please, everybody, no more birthday month stuff. Chris is asking you. He's begging you. He's pleading you. Stop with the birthday wishes. Okay. I think that one worked.
Yeah, it will to never be mentioned again. Hey, let's see who's here. I'm so happy to be here today because Alan is now like he is like a young teen. He's like a teen girl on X. Tweeting every 15 minutes. Every 10 minutes, another tweet from Alan. So there you go.
I understand if I want to make money on Twitter, I have to get 3 million impressions every 3 months. Or 5 million impressions. I think that's what it is. And I'm sorely lacking.
All right, let's see who's here in the chat before we get started. Starting with
from Jean Hu for 742. I saw Blazing Saddles on Sunday, and there was an introduction by Leonard Maltin, but there was no trigger warning.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We talked about it on the Nooner. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. That's great. Thanks, Sean Hu.
And then from Shanzi for 199. Where are the white women at?
Well, there's one behind the scenes, but we're not going to say anything. Just keep that confidential.
All right, Occupant 42, the evolution of Disney. How great was it? Was it good? Was it bad? How bad was it? How did it get worse?
Oh, you'll hear. You'll hear for sure.
Bill S. Preston Esquire. I expected the show to suck because of the writing and production. No need to slag on the actors. I don't know what actors could have made this show successful. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it. Save our comments for then.
John Manilang, it's about to be a party, bringing at least 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yeah, that thing is very bizarre.
And from Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch, shop.filmthreat.com.
By the way, you know what? We talk about buying the merch. I bought merch. I bought a couple new shirts. We have our limited edition Drinker's Choice. We have some retro shirts. We've also got these, Halloween themed shirts. Film Threat the 13th, Nightmare on Film Threat. And then we finally have pint glasses now. Little cocktail glasses there for you. So check it out. Really amazing. Lori outdid herself.
Absolutely.
Very, very happy with all the merch. These new shirts are just awesome. So I didn't see this one. How did this get by me?
We've seen that one.
I'm just seeing it now.
Okay.
Charcoal. I love charcoal. That's the one. Now I got to get another thing, but here they are. So go to shop.filmthreat.com. Check out all of our merch. All right. Couple things going on. Couple things. Yesterday, I was complaining about how, we were all we did was our job.
You've been complaining since Monday. Let's put it that way.
Monday, I was complaining. All we did was our job, which is review a major indie documentary in wide release, which is the movie Am I Racist? And the reaction to that has been, I got to do this one thing here because it's going to bug me. Am I Racist? The reactions to Matt Walsh's doc. See, like that. There you go. The reactions have been positive from people who have actually seen the movie. And finally, we got a shout out, acknowledgement from Matt Walsh. He did, it's right now. Here, we'll talk about that. But going over here, he says, the guys over at Film Threat have covered the film very well, which I really appreciate. Critics in corporate media are terrified, but some independent critics have had the guts to give the film a fair shake. So that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. And we appeared on his program.
He showed a clip. He showed a clip. Also,
it was mostly Dante speaking, of which he referred to him as the black guy.
He called Dante the black guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. But also, oddly enough, Tim Pool actually talked about us. Have you seen this yet?
Yes, I have actually.
All right.
I was watching it when you texted me.
Zero. Wait, what? Critics review 0? What is this? Well, hold on. What are these? What are these reviews? There are reviews here. There are reviews, however. There are 5. And they're all rated fresh. Matt's movie reviews, fresh. Alan Ng, half the audience will laugh, the other half will walk out. He gave it a tomato. He gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Look at this. Our good pals at Film Threat also did a live event because they too live in the real world. Chris Gore and Alan Ng talked through it. I'm not saying you have to watch the film, like the film, or give it a review, but it is odd that the people who cover Hollywood and Hollywood itself seem to think it can survive on fear and blacklists forever. Bro, no, ain't gonna.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
You know what you could do? Rather than say, in the time it takes you to say you're muted, you could unmute.
Yeah, when I press the button, it says only the person who muted himself can unmute himself.
Is that what it says? No,
yeah. Because when I try to
say beaver juice?
Anyways,
yeah,
back
if
to the
I
conversation.
mute you, I can unmute you. But if you
all
mute
right,
yourself,
all right.
Because sometimes people don't want to be hearing what you're muting yourself. The reason for it all.
Okay, all right.
Oh my God.
The thing is this. So we
Big
were
grumpy
all
day, but
over social media All we did was react and review. We did a show on Versus. We did a review and talked about it. And that's it. That's what you're supposed to do. Jeremy Johns did it and was attacked. And I'll get to that. I want to back to this. I'm going to zoom in on this, but I'll read this. So from Matt's, many have asked how it's possible that our new film, Am I Racist, hasn't been reviewed by a single mainstream critic. I guess we are not mainstream. I'm okay with that. Even with a 99% audience score, a verified hot rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and a top 5 box office debut. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. You want to read this, Alan?
Yes. Beginning in mid-August, we reached out to dozens of mainstream outlets offering an early screener of the film. Those outlets included Time, Associated Press, IndieWire, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, New York Times, and the New Yorker, and many others. We followed up to virtual silence. We did, however, receive a flurry of unprofessional emails from independent critics who were enraged. We'd even asked them to review the film. One of them wrote that he won't waste any professional time on a movie opening in over 1,500 theaters because I was involved. Is that what that says? Yeah. So, absolutely not. Hardest decline. I will not waste a second of my professional time on Matt Walsh. Another critic stated, "You have to strap me in a chair like Malcolm McDowell to get me to watch this thing." Another writes, "Take me off this list." Ew.
This is ew. Take me off this list.
Yes. Very professional. After it was clear Am I Racist was a hit, Variety attempted to cover for this oversight with the claim that Daily Wire did not screen the movie for critics. We've asked them to correct this. They have not. They still haven't posted a review, but I hope they do.
I hope they do too. Couple more. This is a Twitter thread from Matt Walsh about this topic.
A few other mainstream outlets have since requested screeners, but have yet to publish a review. One major mainstream outlet even acknowledged we had attempted to get them an advanced screener, but said the film had slipped through the cracks. This isn't a mistake.
To be fair, that happens with Film Threat too.
Yeah,
like, we are a small but wait. To be fair, we are a smaller organization. It's basically Alan and I, and then about 30 people that write reviews and are assigned and or choose from movies they would like to review. So to be fair, that's actually fair. But
we get 200 requests every month.
More than that, Alan. More than that. Because I get the press releases. So anyways.
Yes, I know.
Continue.
This isn't a mistake. You'd be hard-pressed to find another film that opened in more than 1,500 theaters that was completely snubbed by the mainstream critics. If I'm a Racist were terrible, these outlets could have reviewed it and trashed it, but but the reality is they're afraid of it.
Now, real quick there, you said, and you did this too in the review, you said, I am a racist. You are dyslexic, which adds a whole other layer of humor to this, but you usually say, I'm a racist.
Let's be real. We're all racist. I mean, it's one of those things. We're either all not racist or we're all racist.
You know what?
You just pick one.
It's cute when you do it, Alan. Yeah. It doesn't bother me. Anyways, continuing.
Yes, I am racist. All right. I am racist. Am I racist?
Oh my God.
I can't.
No, it's good.
You make me read these things. When are we going to go back to you reading these things?
No, I love it. I love it.
Am I Racist has been so successful precisely because we didn't churn out another safe, predictable Hollywood-style film. If you haven't watched the movie that mainstream critics desperately don't want you to see, you can get tickets at amiracist.com. So there's the plug. And one thing, Rolling Stone was one of the few outlets to request a screener after the movie was announced back in July. They've yet to post a review, which is a bummer because I was looking forward to theirs most of all.
And then he quote tweets himself about Rolling Stone, the last comment.
Yeah. So this is regarding his last film. Today, Rolling Stone ran a hit piece about What is a Woman, calling it transphobic propaganda. The funny thing is we sent screeners to the writer of the piece, and we can see he watched 0% of the film before arriving at the conclusion.
Yeah, there's an agenda behind
Mhm.
this, behind doing this, which is really sad. But let me tell you something, what BS this is, okay? Because, and I know this for a fact, if you could find the Rotten Tomatoes score for Am I Racist? And by the way, that guys, we got to get this right. Am I Racist is a question mark, not an exclamation point.
Yeah, I thought you updated that.
There we go.
When you pulled it down the last time.
Just can we get the titles of the movies right that we're talking about, please? Okay. Like, all right. So I had a movie released last year, and I'll tell you something that I know about Rotten Tomatoes. You need to get a critic's score. You need 5 reviews from critics so you can, do an average, right? 5 reviews. If you click on the critics, click on the gray, whatever, where the critics' reviews are, you will see there are more than 5 reviews. So, Attack of the Doc has 5 reviews. And
hey, look, someone came in with a bad review.
Well, there you go. It'll bring the average down. What does it say? The bad review, Jesse
Gender.
Gender.
It's from Jesse Gender.
Okay.
Despite a better target than the bigoted "What is a Woman," an industry profiting off white guilt instead of fighting racism, it suffers from the same flaws: manipulative editing, lazy comedy, and no curiosity, resulting in an uninspired propagandist finale. Thanks, Jesse Gender.
Very prestigious critic, Jesse Gender. Never heard of him.
Them.
I said never heard of them, didn't I?
No, you said him.
Never heard of like the
of Z.
Whatever. Okay.
Of Zer.
Even if you scroll down, they're all fresh except one, so probably brings it down to 90%.
Yeah, so it's 9 reviews, one
so
fun.
89% at the worst. Still positive. Where is the critics' score? Where is it?
Yeah.
It's gray, rated gray. That isn't how Rotten Tomatoes is supposed to work. So there is some tomfoolery involved in this. This is not being fairly treated. And indie movies really need all the help they can get. This isn't a big studio movie with a big budget, behind marketing budget. This is a little indie movie made for a couple $1 million.
But you also know that, because usually in that gray area there, it'll tell you the number of reviews. So it should say 9 reviews. But when it was at 4, for the longest time, it said 4 reviews, 4 reviews, 4 reviews. Once that 5th one came in, it disappeared.
And this is being treated badly with Attack of the Doc. We have a score, critic score. I think it's like 89 or something, 80 something percent. But all you need is 5 plus. So this movie's not being treated fairly by the media and by Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. Well, they actually have to go to this movie and alter the programming on it. Because I can guarantee you other movies that with less than 9 reviews will look differently than this.
Yes, including my film from last year. So this is I just, you know what? Just
look at that. 7 reviews. 86%.
So I had fewer reviews than Am I Racist and got a critic score fresh at 86%, 98% audience score. So not fair. I don't like this. Not fair at all. So what are your thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, clearly they're they're making a statement. This is not something, when you program a website like this, all this stuff is automatic. But they've gone in and they've monkeyed around with the programming here for specifically that film, and it makes you wonder why. I mean, we know why, but it makes you wonder why.
It does, and I don't like it. I support indie films. We cover them, good or bad. We cover them and give you our review. And that's what we're supposed to do. It's literally our mission is to champion indie movies. We do it every week. We cover mainstream stuff, and you cover Disney stuff, and I like horror films, and we have our own tastes, but this is unfair, and I don't like it. This is, let's call it out. Let's call it what it is. Political bigotry. Political bigotry. And that is, I don't like bigotry of any form. I don't like, but political bigotry is tearing this country apart. Just give Matt his critic score. Just be fair. And Jesse Gender, hey, honest review from Jesse Gender. Respect. Yep. That's fine. Part of the score.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the critics, the professional critics, could have easily just gone in, watched half the movie, and gave it a bad review. They could have just easily review bombed it. For some reason, that seems better than the option that we're given right now. Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Just review bomb it. Go ahead. You have permission.
Whatever, it's fine. Let's go to your comments here. We'll start with super chats.
Okay. From Red French Moon for €2. At this point, will RDJ have something to save?
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh,
that's,
okay.
A couple more news stories, then that's up.
Okay. From Tyzilla 83 for $4.99 from Springdale, Arkansas. Film Threat is my go-to and my favorite movie review channel. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Red French Moon, Film Threat shout out, well deserved. The persistence of complaining, that's what I call it. J Nemo for $4.99. Y'all completely undersold the cringe from the DEI expert in what?
Am I racist?
Okay. It gave me PTSD flashbacks to the skin-crawling seminar forced on me in college. I'm glad to be so old I didn't have to take that.
Yeah.
Adam James for $6.99 Canadian. Am I racist? Is being ignored because the race hustle grift must continue. Without it, a whole industry ends. Yeah, and we could talk about politics in that as well. The Dead Man for $4.99. Jesse Genderos, Manana pretender to be a woman on YouTube who does Star Trek reviews.
Well, Jessie Gender can do whatever she wants. Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
she did what we asked. Review the film.
Diversity of opinion. Kudos. That is perfectly fine.
Kudos to Jessie Gender. Charles Harrison for $2 is 5.5 threats out of 10. IS. Okay, 9.6 out of 10 threats. Am I reading that wrong?
Thanks, Charles.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. One Punch Man Tolkien fan. Dante is the black guy of the Film Threat. Alan is the Asian guy of the Film Threat. And Chris is the white guy.
It's almost like Disney cast us.
I know.
Hey, you know what I realized? The movie Am I Racist? It's very diverse. The movie is diverse.
Is it? How many Asians were in it? The one.
You only count the Asian.
No, look, this is diverse. This is what I've had to deal with diversity all my life. We never said to someone, hey, we have a diversity program, or we have a diversity scholarship, or we have a diversity, club you can join. They mean black.
They never include you.
They don't include me. They don't include Latinos. They don't include the indigenous. It just means black.
We have a few news stories to get to before we talk about Agatha. So bear with us, folks. Bear with us. Disney to spend who's doing these headlines? Disney spend and one.
Yeah, it should be a $.
I'll correct it. This is my you know how much this annoys me.
Oh my god.
What are you? Oh. All right. Let's get back to this.
Look, Chris, you have a great personality.
Get out of here. All right, let's get to this story. Disney to spend $1 billion a year in Europe. Alan, tell us about this story that you have ready. You're putting up here.
Yes, from the Hollywood Reporter reports Disney spend $1 billion a year in Europe. Warner Brothers Discovery exec looks at a 2026 Max launch in the UK. Why is this thing here? Okay. Okay. So there's something behind this banner I can't get rid of. So here, we'll go down here. The conversation, which included Disney's Nami Patel, Senior VP, Strategy and Business Development, the Walt Disney Company, EMEA, and Sarah Rose, President, Channel 5. We'll go down here. In the last 5 years in this market, we spent 3.5 billion pounds, Patel said. In the next 5 years, we're looking to spend about $1 billion a year. She continued, the market is still very buoyant in terms of attracting investment. We've actually supported about 32,000 jobs through our investment in the last 5 years. Big hits like Deadpool and Wolverine hit blockbuster that filmed in London's Pinewood Studios. The knock-on impact of that investment is huge and really does support creative industries. I think you have to recognize there are challenges. We're also working at grassroots levels and work in partnership with British Film Institute and BFI and the National Film and Television School to try and develop skills to bring and attract new people to the industry. It's evolving, it's rapid.
Well, okay, but what does it mean? As the Disney expert and author of the D-Files, Pulitzer, oh wait, it's not Pulitzer Prize winning yet. But yeah, Alan, what does this mean?
What does that mean? It means that Walt Disney Studios, where you can find in Burbank, California, is not getting $1 billion a year to make movies. California is not getting $1 billion to make movies. Los Angeles is not getting $1 billion to make movies. The 32,000 jobs that are going to be created from this are not coming to Los Angeles. They're not coming to Hollywood or the Disney Studios or California or the United States for that matter. Disney might as well pack up and just move all its operations overseas. That's what this means. They've given up on Hollywood. And let's be real. It's not Disney's fault. It's our damn state. It's our damn state. And we've created not only a hostile work environment, but we've created an expensive work environment to where it just doesn't make any sense to spend the extra money here when you can go elsewhere and start from the ground up. And that's what Disney and it looks like Warner Brothers and a whole bunch of other of these companies are doing. They're just going overseas. And congrats, Europe.
California used to lead the nation when it came to innovative laws, friendly to business. I remember before I moved to California when I was a kid, one of the things that blew my mind, California was the first state in the country where you could make a right turn on a stoplight on red after you stopped. Whereas in other states, you had to sit there with the red light. It's like, it's clear, I can go. I remember thinking, I was so blown away. Like, you can make a right turn on a red light? That's insane. So it was a good idea. So California led the nation in so many good ideas for business, just things that were common sense. Now it's crazy laws. So many crazy laws now that make no sense, where business is leaving Twitter/X, leaving for Texas. I mean, it's gotten worse. So spending money overseas to make films makes total sense. In more Disney news, let's get to this story. Inside Out 2 employees speak out. These three stories, starting with that one, they all connect. But Inside Out 2 is a hit. Probably will be one of the biggest movies of the year, if not the biggest in terms of profit, north of $1 billion.
Yep.
In addition,
let me just set it up this way. When we started seeing trailers for Inside Out 2, the discussion was, oh, this is going full gay. We talked about it beforehand. It's just, it's like no one said anything about it, but you just got the sense by the way people looked, by the way people acted toward one another. It was like, oh, we're going gay here. And this is going to be another gay movie that Pixar is putting out. And when I was at CinemaCon, saw the first 35 minutes, and I'm like, this is actually pretty good. There's nothing wrong with this movie. And then we finally saw it, and it was like, it was just a straightforward story. And it was like, oh, have things changed at Pixar? Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So, but then it came out that there was another agenda afoot with this film. Bring up the story, if you would, Alan.
Yeah.
It seems like they were pushing for the main character to be gay. And I think you saw shades of that with the friendships. You could have easily turned this movie with a few lines and a few things. It wouldn't take much to push it in that direction. I think, young boys, young girls, they can be friends and there could be nothing sexual about it. Even the movie, what was it?
In fact, that's kind of like what all kids do.
Yes.
With their friends.
Boys have friendships with other boys. I can remember friendships I had when I was a kid. We played and did stuff and played sports and, we did a lot of stuff. There was nothing sexual about it. Just being a young boy, being a young girl. And you can see, like, there were friendships with the girls in this movie. Inside Out 2 could have easily changed the tone, even with adding a line or two. And Pixar resisted. If you would, Alan, go into the story.
All right. Inside Out 2 was the hit Pixar needed, but the laid off employees who crunched are still hurting. 10 Pixar employees talk about the pains of this year's layoffs, the pressure that surrounds Inside Out 2, and the larger cultural concerns of the studio. From the outside, Pixar's narrative is a clear story of redemption. After an undeniably tough few years, battered by COVID-19 theater shutdowns, 2 Hollywood strikes, and a couple box office disappointments, the studio needed a win, and that win was Inside Out 2. The sequel to Pete Docter's Oscar-winning 2015 blockbuster is Pixar's biggest hit in years, and it's not even close. Inside Out 2 isn't just Pixar's highest-grossing film. It is the highest-grossing animated movie of all time, sitting at a jaw-dropping $1.6 billion at the worldwide box office. It's a stunning turn of events when considering the studio's aforementioned recent struggles. And who doesn't love a redemption story, especially when the brand as beloved and nostalgic as Pixar is involved? But for workers, let's see, do you want to talk about the layoffs at the moment, or do you want me to skip to the...
Well, you can skim it and just say, hey, they laid off this many people.
Yeah, they began laying people off. IGN spoke to 10 former Pixar employees for the story under the conditions of anonymity. They go into details about the pains of the layoff, the financial struggles those layoffs had left them with, and the details behind one source calls the largest crunch in studio history. It's a claim disputed by a senior executive at Pixar, of course, who tells IGN that the crunch at the end of Inside Out 2 was no different than those on many other films from the studios, But the fact remains, there are many who feel they rushed to give Pixar a hit, so it needed so desperately, and were hung out to dry. So people are kind of sore that they were brought in to help them out because the turnaround on these things are too fast,
Right.
and then immediately got fired. They thought that they could get permanent jobs there, and they didn't.
Mhm.
I would venture that at least 95% of the people that got laid off are financially effed right now, says one person. Outside the financial strain, sources also paint a picture of the studio that's terrified to rock the boat, with some internally pushing to avoid LGBTQ themes, requiring edits to Inside Out 2. It's a studio, they say, that's overly reliant on Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter, stubbornly set in his ways and setting its remaining team up for more crunch in its future films. The internal culture of Pixar right now is really rough, one former employee says. There is just an incredible amount of people who are like, I can't do this anymore. Disney declined to comment. Like much of Hollywood, Pixar, let's see.
I get the gist, basically. But did you get to the part about how there was gay content?
Yeah, let me get
skip to that. We have a lot of comments. We're going to get to those momentarily, but I'll just say this: it would have been so easy to turn this film into yet another Strange World or Lightyear, and I think they learned from those failures, because both of those films were utter failures. Strange World might be one of the worst, and yes, go on. You found
Strange World is technically Disney, but Lightyear is the point here. That brief period of willingness to experiment regarding DEI, LGBT, however, didn't last, particularly after Lightyear's financial failure. Sources say Pixar lost the desire to take risks, either in its creative appointments or in its story decisions. As reported at the time, there were many reasons why Lightyear disappointed at the box office: a confusing spin-off concept, a new voice for Buzz, growing pains from Disney Plus back to theatrical. Docter even admitted it prompted a lot of soul searching at the studio, citing some of Lightyear's conceptual and character issues. Wink. But multiple sources say that Disney's leadership internally put a large part of the blame on Lightyear's financial failure on the same-sex kiss in the film, which was briefly removed, then reinstated after an internal staff uproar. In a joint statement with Walt Disney Company, LGBT workers and allies at Pixar said leadership was censoring overtly gay affection at a time where employees were protesting the company's response to Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. It is, as far as I know, still a thing where leadership, they will bring up Lightyear specifically and say, oh, Lightyear was a financial failure because it had a queer kiss in it, one source tells IGN. That's not the reason the movie failed. Now Docter largely uses the language of making universal stories, which to him means something that's very homogenous that everyone can relate to, one source says. The apparent hesitancy touched on LGBTQ theme storyline in particular affected Inside Out 2's development, according to several sources. Multiple people recall hearing about continuous notes to make Riley, the main character of both Inside Out movies, to come across as less gay, leading to numerous edits that ramped up around September 2023 after the resolution of the WGA.
Okay, you can stop there. We get the gist of it. Look, they wanted to make the lead character of the movie gay. I fine. That's probably for a smaller movie. Let me give it to you in really simple terms. 5% of your audience loves jelly donuts. No matter how much propaganda you put out about jelly donuts, you only sell to 5% in the marketplace. So maybe stop trying to push jelly donuts on people who don't want to eat jelly donuts. You make something and you scale to the market. So 5% of the market is jelly donuts. Make enough jelly donuts to serve that market. But if the larger market actually is turned off by jelly donuts, don't push them. This is basic economics. They are trying to go broad with messaging that does not work for that market. It's so simple. So Lightyear fails because people were turned off by the messaging. And Strange World, word got around fast about that movie.
Yeah.
Word got around fast. So, and it tanked. That might be one of the worst failures next to Wish.
You know
of
that
anything.
Because I mean, I've told this story before, but I was behind me was a grandfather and his grandson, and you say word got around fast. The grandfather knew exactly what he was going to do when those scenes came up, and he did it every time. It was basically, I'm going to distract my grandson and ask him a question during these scenes, and so he doesn't have to see it.
It's, you know what? I have no problem. We even talked about, I have no problem with a gay themed Disney movie. Although when we say that, it's kind of like all their stuff. But what I'm saying is you make it a small release, limited release. Like it's in New York and LA. We'll put it on Disney Plus. We will even rebrand it. What was it called, Alan?
Sparkle.
So Disney Sparkle would be a gay brand within Disney, making gay cartoons, features, stories, all kinds of stuff. Do that. And then you see how it performs. But to sneak it into things that are mainstream, where people's expectations is, this is a Disney movie or a Pixar movie, I can trust it, it's for everyone. You are being deceptive.
Yeah, I can tell you, it started at Toy Story 4, and they just inserted it in just without any fanfare, more like conditioning, and then they kind of went out with it. But to your point, I don't know that you need to create a brand, but look, you can make Pixar can make a gay movie, but you've got to understand who your audience is. How many people are you going to draw in with your gay themed movie? Make it as gay as you want. But realize that you're not going to get the broad audience. You're not going to get Pixar-like numbers to those. You need to understand how much money you probably are going to make, and then you base the movie and its production costs and everything on that number. And that's the problem. Is they think that they could just make a gay movie and spend $100 million on it, and think they'll make $100 million back. And they just learned the lesson here that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's so simple because we've been covering indie film for a very long time. There are a lot of gay themed films. I've been going to Sundance since the 90s. And I can tell you a lot of the films are gay, and they're very good films, by the way, but they're movies made for a market that is particular. And these movies were small market, whatever, they go on Sundance Channel or IFC, and it's fine. But parents, now that parents are awake and paying attention, they clearly do not want this. And Inside Out 2 was rewarded for basically just showing restraint. We have another news story here.
We're just producing a Pixar movie, period.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and you'll find this interesting, but when I read that article, it was speaking to Pixar employees who got laid off, and how upset they were that Pixar was not willing to entertain LGBT themes in that. Does this story sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
That the head of Pixar laid off who? The activists.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a related story here. Our last news story before we get to Agatha. GLAAD grades Hollywood. So this is every year GLAAD puts out, well, actually a couple times a year, they put out stats about gay programming, gay characters in series. They want representation in shows. I mean, I, for one, think when it's authentic, it's fine. But honestly, if I'm watching a cop procedural, does it matter that I know if the officer is gay or not? I don't care. They're a good character and they're well written. The sexuality doesn't matter to me. But with GLAAD, it's important. Alan, pull this story up if you would, and let's get into it.
Yes. So Apple TV Plus gets GLAAD's only failing grade in the annual LGBT representation study. The media watchdog analyzed 2023's releases from 10 studios, slapping A24, Disney, Amazon, and others with a rating of good, fair, insufficient, poor, and failing. Let's see. Studios behind the 2023 releases like The Family Plan, Flora and Son, and Ghosted was the only studio to have the 10 named GLAAD 12th annual Studio Representation Index on LGBT representation to receive a failing grade. The media watchdog announced Tuesday. Of its 6 total films released in 2023 under Apple TV Plus, the official imprints, only 1 featured LGBT characters, and both of them were on screen for less than a minute. The development that GLAAD categorized as in a study as highly disappointing. While Apple TV received the only failing grade with 17% of the studio releases, several others in the Studio Representation Index didn't fare much better. Warner Brothers received a poor grading. A24, Lionsgate, Paramount, Sony, and Walt Disney Company received an insufficient. NBC Universal and Netflix received fair, and Amazon was the only studio to receive a good rating. Okay. Yes. Okay. The slate of Amazon Studio and its subsidiaries included several high-profile LGBT inclusive films, such as GLAAD Media Award-winning raunchy comedy Bottoms, and the GLAAD Media Award nominee biography Cassandro, romantic comedy Red, White, and Royal Blue, and the satire American Fiction. I'll just end it there. But ironically, we actually liked most of those movies.
You're right. But look, let me just say this: that indie film was where these movies thrived, because I think they were able to make authentic stories that served a smaller market, what they call specialty market, right? Again, movies that open New York, LA, and then play on streaming services like Sundance Channel, among others. And that's great. The problem has been, which has hurt Hollywood, when this thing leaks into more mainstream stuff. But I don't care or have a problem with gay characters being in mainstream stuff. I don't do they have to almost make it, it's very poorly done, where they kind of have to declare or make it known that they're gay. But it gets dicey. So what are your thoughts on this, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, look, I kind of got into it with someone about a tweet I did about this, but it's interesting to me that the best of the gay films were Bottoms, Cassandro, and American Fiction. I haven't seen the other one.
Those are good movies.
Those were all good movies, and a lot of it was just the fact that they had gay characters. Bottoms clearly was gay, but it was. This is what I talk to a lot of my gay friends about regarding movies these days. That gay movies are about coming out. It's always about coming out, and the gay community is just tired of it, or at least my gay friends are just tired of it. But these movies were just about people who are gay, and these were movies about their experience in life and the experiences that they could relate to. I think American Fiction, the Sterling K. Brown character, that was a story that really snuck up on me in terms of being really good and realizing why it was so important that his character and that story was in this movie. But a lot of times, what I think GLAAD wants and what they're looking for is just for someone on the screen to say, "Hey, I'm gay," and then move on. And that to me is a disservice to the gay community.
It seems so forced. It's so it's not well
written.
Insulting.
It's insulting as well.
Right. Just the gay characters as they're portrayed in this are almost like characters in blackface or gay face. It's like a caricature rather than just a normal person who happens to be gay, which no one cares about. I'm trying to find I'm looking at your Twitter feed, and I think, when do you have time to work on film? There is
No,
way
it's when
too
I
much.
have when I'm at doctor's appointments with a lot of downtime.
There's
There it is.
way too much
Is
here.
that the one? Is
Well,
that the
this is a
one?
good one here that relates to Agatha.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
the one I
Alan,
got
you
kind
are-
of got at it with a few people in that one.
Yeah. Hey, here it is. Look,
Yeah.
as it's accessorizing gay people.
Exactly.
Yeah. But look, I just think it's shout out to Az, heel versus babyface. Az, you're gonna love Agatha. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I just think these reports come out and it's never enough. Never enough. They can't say, look what we've accomplished compared to 10 years ago. You know, like with Film Threat and myself, I am competing with myself. In everything that I do, I am competing with me. I don't get worked up about with this, whatever. I'm like competing, like, how are we doing? Where was I a year ago? Where am I now? Well, we've excelled. And GLAAD, if you look at like where things are, it's they've made strides, but it's so much stuff is forced. It's so poorly written. It's so just, we're gonna get to Agatha because this ties in.
Yeah.
But to put a button on this, Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that this study has to happen every year and that people take it seriously, I think we can make strides. I mean, clearly, you know, the three movies we mentioned, Bottoms, Cassandra, and American Fiction, that's strides in good storytelling for LGBT communities. But it's, you know, again, but it's when you're inserting for the sake, as say, for accessorization, it's insulting. You know, it's like, of course, you know, it's the fact that Hollywood doesn't know how to write good gay characters. And they just feel like if we just insert them in whatever story we want, whenever we can, that's enough. And again, it's insulting, it's pandering, it's, as Verbal Riot likes to say, queer baiting. And it's a disservice not only to us as fans of moviegoers and things like that, but it's also a disservice to the gay community.
Let's go to your comments here. And Alan, I've got to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Sorry, folks. I'll be right back.
All right. From AA for 100, I believe that's rupees. You guys deserve more love and attention. Thanks. Dare I say more than Jeremy Johns? I mean, he's good, but you guys are better. Hail Film Threat. Yeah, you know, if we could get 3 million subscribers, that would be awesome. Jeremy, he worked for it. Charles Harrison for 199. No comment there, but thank you for that. Here we go. John Thomas for 10. Chris, Gen Con was in August. I saw a vid. Apparently, they fired a. Hey, actually, let me wait for Chris to come back for that one, and we'll go back to it. Michael Cocroft for 1999. Film Threat lives, just happening upon you guys, and love it. Fond memories of picking up Film Threat and Chaz Ballin's Rag Gore Zone as a teenager. Brilliant. Thank you. Let's see. Francisco Sanchez Jr. for 5. So adding rainbow sparkles to a general audience movie is taking a risk. GTFOH. I'm afraid to look that one up. John Thomas for 5. Oh my God, Chris just paraphrased the snails and oysters conversation in Spartacus. LOL. Also, no, a barely pubescent child does not need to be gay. Yeah, I think kids will figure that out for themselves. Yeah, there was a comment for you here from John Thomas. Chris, Gen Con was in August, saw a vid, and apparently they fired the entire slate of woke authors for their author symposium. It went well, but we're going to a different direction, was the gist. LOL.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a long time for Hollywood to figure this out. By the way, I could hear everything where I was, so don't worry about that.
No, I was saying you want to comment directly.
And by the way, if Az is still watching, go see The Substance. Go see it, man. The Substance. Got to go see that movie. We'll talk on Friday about that film. Yeah, I heard about that. I think a lot of companies, if they're brave, they will stand up and say, look, we're in the business of making donuts that appeal to everybody. And we will continue to make, 5% of our jelly donuts for the people who like jelly donuts. But it's a very simple financial decision. And I think, at some point you got to make money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so simple. And also, by the way, if I'm going to see a gay themed film, I want it to be authentic, not ground through some mainstream thing where it's like some side character just says, hey, guess what? I'm gay and my boyfriend and or girlfriend. And they just sort of wink, wink, like, see, there's a gay character amongst all these characters in the story. How many times do characters in movies stop to tell you their sexuality? It's so stupid.
Well, episode 2 of Agatha. But
yeah, we'll get there. Episode 4 of Agatha. Episode 4. Wait until we get to Agatha, folks. Let's get through these supers. But thank you so much, Sean Thomas. Appreciate that. I'd heard that. So there you go.
Okay. C sign 69 for 499. Am I the only one that finds it incredibly odd that the community that says they're not for maps are pushing for sexuality in children's films?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Ben Johnson for 20. Sorry I tuned in late. So if you're already talked about this, what are your thoughts on Batman getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
I think it's cool. I think it's amazing. I'd like to see more characters get stars. And I think it's coming up. I'd like to go.
Really want to do it? Or?
You can go when I don't know when the ceremony, I believe, is next week. But yeah, I think that's awesome. Great photo op. So okay. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. Very generous.
Let's see. Is it
Keep going?
Okay. All right. Darth Racer 777 for 10. I'm not a fan of gay themed movies. I prefer good old fashioned heing and sheing. How about we have a website that praises heterosexuality in film?
Or just have like a romance in a movie. Whenever it happens now, whenever I see a movie and there's like a heterosexual couple that even might be of the same ethnicity or race, I think I'm surprised.
Because we should just allow people to have preferences in movies.
Yeah.
And not get on them for not seeing your movie because you can't relate to it or that you don't find anything interesting about it.
Right.
It's okay. You don't have to see every single movie ever made.
Except you have to, Alan.
Yeah, I do. That's let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's next Thursday, the Batman ceremony.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it, but I'll find out when it is. I might be able to go.
Yeah, it's next Thursday. All right. Mr. Case for 199. The Birdcage was a great movie. Yeah, there is crossover appeal.
Yes, and also like I'm a big fan of John Waters.
Mm-hmm.
John Waters films are awesome.
Look, people don't see Christian movies. It's a category.
It's a limited market, but not a small one. Right. I would argue it's larger than the gay audience.
Yeah, but I don't think you'll ever see a Christian movie come out or being made for over $10 million. They understand they understand the revenue process and how to make money off of these things.
Wait a sec. Holy cow. Krizik gifted 20 Film Threat memberships. Thank you, Krizik. That is, by the way, we have a Q&A with the director of The Substance in the members only videos. A lot of members only videos, a lot of Q&As that Alan and I go to. We film them and post them, among other stuff. There's a lot of crazy Alan videos. Right, great. Alan?
Yes, great. Thank you.
What?
Love it.
All right, Alan.
All right.
All right. That wraps it up there. It's
May the menstrual cycle be with you always.
I don't know who you're like. Speaking of gay, I've never loved a man more than I love Alan right now.
You and 100 other men.
Let's talk about Agatha Agatha All Along is here. We will discuss our general impressions of episodes 1 through 4. This is our early reaction, not necessarily a review, but a lot of reviews have already broken online. And I'll say this, I would expect a show like this maybe to have some mixed reaction, but it's been across the board pretty positive. Alan, what are your impressions overall of the first 4 episodes? The first 2 debuted tonight. What do you think of the first 4?
The show is boring and bland. I saw all these praises for the film. I'm pretty certain these are people who went to the premiere and saw it there and was excited about seeing all the stars and everyone. And to say that this is the greatest Disney is, I mean, maybe it is, maybe it is, but this is a really bad show. And it's bad for many reasons. And I'm not even talking about the gay stuff. I'm just talking about storytelling. The show doesn't know what it wants to be. And when we talk about the first episode, I'll really get into that. The other thing is Agatha Harkness. She is the babysitter. When I was reading comic books, she was the babysitter of Franklin Richards. She was an old woman. And you know, when Catherine Hahn showed up as Agatha in the WandaVision series, you know, you kind of knew it was kind of a joke, kind of a, you know, you didn't think you were going to take it seriously. But the reality is that this Agatha has very little to do with the Agatha, the comic books, the one that I'm familiar with, which makes me wonder, why is this a Marvel show? This could easily be Hocus Pocus 3 or a prequel to Hocus Pocus. And you could market this show a lot better, and you could probably gain a lot more audiences and a lot less hate, or should I say disagreement, if you just said this is Hocus Pocus 3. Because to connect it with Marvel, you just open that can of worms, and they've opened the can of worms. And this show should not be getting the the displeasure from comic book fans, because this is not made for comic book fans. Which is ultimately my impression of this film is, who is this made for? And as much as I can gather, I believe it's made for female witches and gay teens.
And I'll tell you this, episode 2, there's a chant and there's a song. If you loved episode 3 of The Acolyte and you like lesbian witches, this is more lesbian witches. That's what this is. And I'll say who's the show for? Childless older women. It's down to the dialogue, down to how the characters interact, down to the story. Its total appeal is to a specific group of single women, older women, and you might even say cat ladies as well. It's not for comic book fans. And as you said, this could just be a Hocus Pocus witch movie, and whatever, fine. You do need to, or at least it helps to have seen WandaVision.
For the first episode only.
Really, for the first episode. After that, it
doesn't matter.
Branches off and is a whole new adventure. But it's centered on, it really is dependent on Catherine Hahn, who, I will just say this, she's a very good character actress.
Yeah, I've liked her since Crossing Jordan.
Catherine Hahn, really good side character actress. She's funny, witty, likable, except not in this show. She, as the center and the lead, not a side character, not a sidekick, as the focus, the whole thing, weight is on her shoulders. It doesn't work. She doesn't work as the carrying the brunt of this. It's sort of like why the Flash movie did not work with Ezra Miller. He's a good side character, not a lead.
Yeah, I'll say that I would place this solely on the writer and director Jack Schaefer. This is just a bad show, and you have you're wasting a great actress in this show. And we'll talk about it when we get specifically into episodes. But the direction of the show is uneven. The tone of the show is uncertain. It just feels like, just to give you the broad things, Agatha lost all her powers. She has to go on the witch's road. By taking the witch's road, when she gets to the end of it, she'll get her powers back, and she needs a coven of witches to help her. That's the story. That's what this whole show is about. And it's not very inventive. It's not innovative in any way. It doesn't, it just seems like the pattern of Disney anything, where events, occurrences, and challenges and trials along the way are done solely for plot devices to get the narrative going. But there is this world of witches. I don't know anything about this world of witches. I don't care about this world of witches. And there don't seem to be any rules unless the rules fit what needs to happen in the next scene.
Bingo. In order to believe the events that are occurring, there have to be ground rules that are set up.
Mm-hmm.
The movie Doctor Strange sets up the worlds of the magic verse, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how things work. People using magic can do this.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot do that. Here are the rules. Sometimes rules get broken.
And there are consequences, yes.
There are consequences, but rules are in place so the story can proceed. And in this, it seems like they are making it up as they go along. It's a mess. I see that they're making it for a very specific audience, and there are really specific instances where they say, like, it's got your gay themes again, which I honestly have no problem with at all. But
if this were called Hocus Pocus 3 and their gay themes like they are here, it would make more sense.
It just seems to be shoehorned in. And I don't know what the obsession is. So many clips have leaked online. We might look at those later of, they want to claim this show. And really can the show just be for everyone and be inclusive of gay characters? Like, is that fine? Must it be like so pushed?
Yeah.
Or,
well, again, why is it called Marvel? Because outside of the first episode, which is the connection to WandaVision, what is Marvel about this? Would you buy this comic book? When we talk about the plot, it's like I would never write a comic book like this. I would never buy a comic book like this because it's boring. There's nothing there that says, oh, this needs to be a comic book. It's very pedestrian in that sense. I'll say this. We talked about this with the D-Files, where they got rid of all the veterans, all the people who knew how to do animation, and they just replaced them with DEI hires. That's what's happening here. The level of storytelling is so shallow. It makes you wonder, where have all the good story writers gone? Where have all the good script writers gone? Because this show does not elevate the art in any way. This does not elevate the genre of comic books in any way. And quite frankly, it doesn't even elevate the genre of witches in any way. There's just no depth to it. Why would you watch this show? Why would anyone want to watch this show?
Well, I think people are curious. I think the first two episodes, I think people will tune in, and episodes 3 and 4 take a turn. We'll get into that. We'll go episode by episode. We'll talk about things that happen, but it doesn't get better. Yeah, it doesn't get better.
I'll say this: the best thing Disney did was hire the guy from Variety to do a press line and say,
my God, yes.
Hey, ask them one question, because I will tell you this show is going to get more views because of the results of those questions, the answers to those questions, than any other advertising this show could have done. And it's like how we got more people to watch episode 3 of The Acolyte than any other episode. It's there's a reason why we're technically why we couldn't review the show until today, because Disney has no faith in this show, and they were right.
Let's go to your comments, and then we're gonna get more specific. So we will get into spoilers. The reason we're getting into spoilers is because none of you care.
Yeah, you're not gonna
care. You're not gonna care. So if you would go through these comments, Alan, I have to set up a couple things here, but go through these.
Also, let's be real. The spoilers, were they really spoilers? Jimmy Francis became a new member, and hey, thanks, Jimmy. The Netzerak for 200 Danish krona. Thank you. That must be a lot of money. Thank you for everything you guys and your team do. P.S. I love your merch designs and ordered the hoodie and a t-shirt in the new design. 5 shirts and a hoodie now. Cheers from Denmark. Enjoy those.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
I swear, in terms of the fabric, I love these t-shirts.
Yeah.
I love wearing them. Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Oh my goodness. The positive reviews from shills who got special treatment. Shocked. Sorry. Did I press? There we go. From Show Enough for 5. Yes. Sorry. Just getting the last remnants of the show that shall not be mentioned out of my system. Now on to the next dumpster fire.
All right. Sticking with super chats.
Yeah. Loppy Loud for 4.99. We don't care if characters are gay, black, conservative with yellow polka dots. We just want characters with good, interesting arcs. Not that hard. Jeez. Not that hard. Jeez. Let's see. We actually have we got that one. Here's from Rumble. And for one, from Volume Dealer. Yeah, but how gay is the show? We'll get into that.
We'll get into it.
Let's see. Bill S. Preston, Esquire, Hocus Pocus, The Rise of Harkness. C Sign 69. Marvel saying Star Wars doing lesbian space witches saying, hold my beer.
True.
Dark Hero fan. Why are we getting gay witches in Star Wars and Marvel? It can't be a coincidences. Well, I mean, aren't witches inherently, gay? Jay Nemo, a gayer Wizard of Oz. We got that one. Let's see. No, we got that one. And then finally from Rumble, Occupant 42 for 5. You can't spoil a show that I'm not going to watch. Exactly. Yeah. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah. So, all right. What should we do first, Alan? Should we go through episode by episode?
Or do you want to get to the news item?
Or do we go to the yeah,
we might want to do that just to kind of set the stage.
Yeah. And we will, because we will be doing spoilers. Let's look at some of these videos that were provided to us. We found them on X, mainly through a bunch of the Variety was there covering the Agatha premiere.
Yeah, this first one, the director, it's just listen to the clip and listen.
Are you going to put it up, or should I?
Oh yeah, I can put it up. Yeah. Let me grab it here. Okay.
No, I got it. You're This is from Disparu.
Yeah, but start from the beginning, but listen to what she says and how behind the show she is, or what she thinks of this show.
Okay, let's.
Is your volume up, by the way?
Yeah. Let me. Here we go.
Okay.
It was such a journey, and the making of the project was such a journey, and it tells the story of this incredible journey. It was such a journey. I think the making of the project was such a journey, and it tells the story of this incredible journey.
So it's a journey.
Yeah, right. She should run for president.
Yeah, that sounds like something a nominee talks like.
Okay,
here.
Go on to the next one.
Yeah, I'll be pulling all of these up for us to watch. This should not surprise you.
Okay, so basically I pulled the clips except for one where the question is, Is this the gayest Marvel show ever?
Let's get to Joe Locke is a character in the show. He is, we don't even know what his name is. He cannot speak it.
Wink. We
So
don't know
he
who he
is
is.
Wink, exactly. So he's just referred to as Teen. Hey, Teen. So here we go.
So the show has been described to me as the gayest Marvel project to date. Do you agree?
I would say so, yeah. It's got
Why?
many layers, and definitely gay is one of them.
Is it? I mean, for someone like you started off in the business. You were in a gay show. Now you're in another gay show. It's like not new for you.
No, I think that's also one of the great things about the show is like Heartstopper is very like the queerness is the plot of the show, whereas this is like teens queer, this is the queer characters in the show, but it's not like the driving force of the plot, which is I think really great. It's really like really nice just having these positive queer characters in the show. It's great.
So
Okay.
Well, look, it's none of this is a surprise. I'm gonna go. We got a lot of clips here, so we'll go through them all.
Yeah.
But they're just repeating. This seemed to be the messaging, right?
Right.
This is the messaging of this.
Well, I also wonder how much of it is this guy.
I think it's a lot of this guy because he really wants it to be gay. It's not as gay as he is presuming it to be. But it's
he's really excited about it being gay, and it's like me saying, "How Asian is this show? Is this the most Asian show?"
Well, you do say that, Alan.
There is one Asian.
Talk about how is it Asian enough?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. This is the most Asian show on Disney Plus. Not in the movies, but on Disney Plus.
Here we go.
it's been described to me that Agatha is the gayest project Marvel has ever done. Agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Why is it?
You'll see. You'll see when you watch it. But, I think witches are queer inherently just because we are outcast and like set aside for many reasons. And I think this show shows a really good representation of different types of people and that we can all use the power we have within to like go forth and be great.
It's been described to me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually like her character mainly because she's hot.
Yeah, she was on Saturday Night Live and she was very good on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I think she's hot, and I can't deny. So there you go.
Let's also point out that as an outcast, you're gay now. If you've ever felt like an outcast in your life,
Are gay people outcasts now? I mean, maybe 20 years. I don't think since I've ever lived in California, which has been, by the way, since 1989. I have lived in California. That's the year I moved here. The year that Batman 89 came out. It was playing at the Egyptian Theater. And I don't think it's ever, I don't know. It's never been a thing. Okay, here's Aubrey Plaza.
Okay.
Let's see what she has.
This was interesting.
Okay.
I'm told, I've seen the first episode, but Agatha is the gayest Marvel project yet. Do you agree?
It better be, because that's what I signed up for. I think it is.
I'm told. I've seen the.
Yeah, this guy really likes to say this. So, this is the gayest thing Marvel's ever. He likes to say it.
I know he's encouraging us to mock him. The other thing, I'll say this: I believe Aubrey Plaza's response is an improv response. It was it's the question. Doesn't matter what the real answer to the question is. She's gonna yes and it.
It's a yes and. Okay, here's another one. Here's another one. So, all right, I gotta.
This is the showrunner, Jack Schaefer.
Yeah,
someone who has seen multiple episodes calls this the gayest Marvel project to date. Do you agree?
I mean, I will take that and I will love that and I will tuck that under my pillow at night. That's what I will say. What I would say is like this show
is about love, and it's about found family. It's about theatricality. It's about nastiness. It's about
What kind of nasty?
oh, the good kind, the fabulous kind, the well-styled kind. That's our show.
Someone who has seen.
Let me just say, do you see her, the showrunner?
Yeah.
That's the audience. You see the showrunner? That is the audience. That person, that the show is made for the person you're looking at right there.
Yeah. And you can kind of sense that she's backing off on the question. That yeah, there's gay elements in it, but it's really about more than that. And to me, I think that's what makes me wonder why this guy is asking these questions to everybody. And that there's, I don't know that Disney is doing this except for the views, but certainly this guy seems to have a certain agenda behind it.
Yeah.
Certain
let's
yeah.
Okay,
Last one.
Let's look at another clip here. Here's here we go. Here I have to catch.
It's been described as the gayest Marvel project ever. Do you agree?
Oops.
Catherine Hahn.
Oh no, go back up. You were saying something.
Okay. You see this person? That's
Yes.
Catherine Hahn.
We know.
He does not look like her in the show. She looks like she got a makeover here.
You got glammed up, yes.
Yeah, so let me back it up here. Well, it's a very short clip. Here we go. Ready? Go.
It's been described as the gayest Marvel project ever. Do you agree?
I mean, I think it's pretty well. What is the most exciting about it is that that's not exactly what it's about. It's so normalized, but yeah, I definitely think it is.
It's been described as the
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they, Catherine Hahn and the showrunner, they're just backing off from this question. I think maybe they've learned the lesson of the Acolyte, and just said no, it's got that in it, but it's not about that.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's another clip here described as gay explosion. Wait. I have to.
I'll
set
repause
this-
again.
But this is a gay explosion. Here we go.
the chemistry between you and Catherine in the first episode. I describe it as Law and Order meets Basic Instinct meets Bound.
Go on. You're speaking my language. All of that. Yes. More. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Get gayer and gayer as each episode goes.
Yes, darling, but I can't tell you how. I can't tell you anything. But yes, it will be a gay explosion by the end of it.
The chemistry between you and Catherine in the first
It will be a gay explosion by the end of it. Oh man.
That's the thing is that's what it just she's yes-anding him. She's just going along with it. And now she's getting quoted in the trades as Agatha being a gay explosion when I think she was just joking around and just playing with the guy.
Yeah, I look, I like Aubrey Plaza. We just reviewed My Old Ass, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we both liked that film. Aubrey, she's a team player, in maybe in more ways than one. I don't know anything about her personal life. But I've always liked her in films, loved her in Parks and Rec. But she plays along. And also, by the way, red carpet interviews are always train wrecks.
Yeah.
They're always inappropriate questions, crazy stuff. So I don't take all of these comments with a grain of salt, although all the comments saying it's gay, pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's very accurate.
We'll get into how. Let's get into your comments. Then we'll go episode by episode and break it down. Here we go.
All right. From the Nets Rack, member for 3 months. Looking forward to you reactions to this shite. Albert Not a Retro for 5 Canadian. Sounds like the theme of the show should be Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. XR Kun for 5. The interviewer has been hitting the booger sugar.
It's great.
From Az, Heels versus Babyface. Why is he cosplaying Anderson Cooper?
Probably because he wants to have sex with him.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, he's an even gayer Anderson Cooper. ADLS24. So the show sounds like a train wreck that is modern feminism.
Accurate.
Maybe. Yeah.
That is accurate.
J Nemo for 499. The Venn diagram between Agatha's audience and the NBA fans, WNBA fans,
WNBA.
is a perfect circle.
Yeah, it is. It'll get about the ratings of the WNBA too.
Albert Not a Retro for 2 Canadian. Audrey Plaza was trolling, darling. That's what I'm saying. She was trolling.
I think so too. She's smart.
Yeah. Or she hates red carpets. Drake Timbershaft for 10. Mr. Gibson, I've been told that The Passion of the Christ is the gayest Jesus movie ever made. It's 50 Shades of Grey meets Bound, except with Jesus. Your thoughts?
See, this is the thing. That's not crazy.
Yeah.
That's the type of question you would hear on a red carpet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aaron Sleeper for 999. LOL. Coming at you from Virginia. Witches are inherently queer. Tell that to Grace Sherwood. The Witch of Pungo, last woman to be tried for witchcraft in Virginia, survived jailing and got married and had kids.
I just don't understand how they now want to equate witches to a certain sexuality. There's a weird co-opting of things like the lesbian space witches and Acolyte, and now this, like, it's almost like declaratively saying a witch has to be gay.
Or maybe they are. I mean, that's just it. What do we know about witches?
Is this now a thing?
And not only that, is this a thing to where we have to create 2 shows specifically for witches?
Thank you for that.
Pharaoh of Vibes for 10. The general audience doesn't care there are gay elements if the story and characters are well crafted. See House of the Dragon. They are obsessed with this status.
Yeah, no one was on the red carpet for House of the Dragon saying, I'm told this is the gayest George R.R. Martin show ever done. Your response? It's all a setup and a troll here, but yeah, it's like, look, there are so many gay characters and other things where no one, it's not made all about that. There's an obsession with making it all about that. It's unnecessary.
Yes, but at the same time, these are probably Variety's most seen videos on X.
Well, that's true. And I found out when I was going through that, Variety follows me.
Oh.
I follow Variety.
And Simon Ho for 2 Canadian. Maybe the gayest casting couch in Disney Marvel.
Thank you, Simon Ho.
Red Pilled Rants for 199. What do they mean by Agatha bring something all along? Yeah, unfortunately that got censored. David Smart for 10. Hey gang, what are your thoughts about Beetlejuice 2 and See No Evil? I loved it. And why don't the people behind Agatha learn from the mistakes from the Acolyte? Is this like idiots don't like money?
I think Beetlejuice, we gave it a mixed review. It was fine. And
well, I can tell you that Agatha was in production 2 years ago.
I think you mean Speak No Evil. I thought it was great. Loved it. Great thriller. So yeah, and Beetlejuice, I don't. A lot of people did like it.
Yeah, I think we said it was fan service, but it was fun at the same time.
Thanks, David.
M8366 for 5. Guys, Ahsoka, Acolyte, Agatha, Wicked, so many witches.
Yeah, for sure.
Witch.
All right, Alan, let's pivot. We are, and you're going to get one warning from us. One warning. We're talking spoilers.
Yeah. So if you want to see Agatha without spoilers, now's the time.
So dip out. We have not lost one person. There's 3,400, more than almost 3,500 people watching live. Smash that like button and sub to the channel because Alan has a goal.
Yes. Yeah, we need to hit 169,000 in the next 6 months. And I believe we are
No,
39.
before the end of the year.
Oh, no, sorry, that's right. Before the end of the year, 169,000. We are only 39,000 away.
But we did surpass Movie Bob.
Yes, we are.
Is
We have
that
more
right?
subscribers than Movie Bob.
Yes. I will rule you one day, Flash Gordon.
Yeah, I remember when Movie Bob started trolling me. I went to look it up. He was at 128,000 subscribers 8 months ago. And since then, he has grown to 128,000 subscribers.
Yeah. To be clear, I am a straight man.
And I am too.
And I'm super straight. But
And I am
also
engaged in a heterosexual relationship.
Yeah, and we're both straight. We want to get that.
Yes, I'm in a heterosexual relationship.
I'm putting it out there
I'm all on board with Bress.
that Alan and I are straight.
I stand with them and in between them. That was a
Somehow
long time ago. That clip was
that
a long time ago.
video got clipped. Hey, let's talk about Agatha and go through some of the highlights. Starting with episode 1. There are some, I'll give you sort of the broad strokes. We're not going to go point by point story wise, but it starts off as we find a dead body in the forest, and Agatha shows up as a police detective in a small town, has to solve the murder of this person who has been killed. We don't know how. He is a police detective, hardened, has trouble with, of course, her main superior, idiot white guy, to be clear. And it is soon revealed she's been under a spell. She's not really a police detective. And Aubrey Plaza, as this character, the Rio Vidal, mysterious antagonist, adversary, rival, we don't know. Agatha has lost her power in a short battle with Rio, played by Aubrey. It ends with her awakening. She awakens completely naked and talks to one of her neighbors from WandaVision. She is full nude.
Well, there's a butt flash. It's a butt flash. It's a butt flash.
We see her bare bottom. And she awakens and realizes she must go on a journey. Alan, continue.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's what you're missing.
I missed a couple things.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is this takes place right after the events of WandaVision. She doesn't wake up as a detective. She's in a detective procedural show.
That's right. She's in the show.
Okay. And Rio is the one who breaks her out of the show and brings her back to reality, to Westview, where WandaVision took place, and to the neighbor she had. Okay, so episode 1. In any television series, episode 1 is the episode that lays everything out and tells you why you need to see this show. And at the end of episode 1, the conclusion is clear. You don't need to see the rest of the show. This whole episode serves as the homage to WandaVision. This is just another chapter of WandaVision. The problem is in WandaVision, why we liked WandaVision was because each episode was a take on a classic television show that we all loved and watched. This one is a take on like a true detective show. And the problem is that in WandaVision, because it was based on a sitcom, it was funny, it was light, you could have lame jokes and things like that. And if you're gonna do the same thing with a true detective show, the episode needs to be deadly serious. But this show, especially in this first episode, doesn't know what it wants to be. Does this episode want to be a true detective show, or does it want to be one of the yuck comedies from WandaVision? And it can't make a decision, and so therefore, whatever path it decides to go is going to be bland, and is going to be uninteresting. And that's what happens here. And I'll give you the reason why this episode does not work. And I'll blame the director, because the director is the one who has to manage the tone of the show. Because Catherine Hahn, as this detective, there are moments where she is dramatic and acts like a detective from a True Detective show. But then at certain times she acts kind of, she overacts. Like, slams a paper down in the investigation room.
She's really unlikable too.
Yeah, she's over the top cop.
She's an a-hole to everybody. And it's like, after a while, you're like, so this is the lead character I'm supposed to like?
Yeah. And then half the supporting characters in the episode are serious actors who would appear in a True Detective show. The other half are goofballs who would appear in a parody of a True Detective show. For example, her boss, the chief, a total dimwit.
Right.
And he played as a total dimwit. And so right off the bat, you're just wondering, what is this show about? Am I supposed to take this show seriously? It's doing, for those who are going to seal clap and say, oh, but they're doing a parody of a True Detective show. No, they're just doing a lame version of a True Detective show. And for people who are going to like this episode are the ones who are conditioned to like anything Marvel does or anything Catherine Hahn does. But this is a badly directed and a badly written episode with an ending that we all knew was coming, because it's in the trailer, and it's just a waste of time. And again, this episode 1, its sole goal is to make you want to go to episode 2, and it fails right off the bat.
Let's move on to episode 2. The character of Teen is brought in, who is kind of this sounds weird. Teen, played by Joe Locke, is like an Agatha superfan. Does that seem accurate?
Yeah, which begs a lot of questions.
He's kind of like we don't know his name. So Joe Locke comes in and you see him. It's kind of a cool effect. He asks his name. He goes to say it. He cannot say his name. He's under a spell.
A sigil.
Sigil. Right. So he can't say his name. So she just calls him Teen and sort of orders him around like a Gen Z kid, like, do this for me. Come over here. And episode 2, she's on a journey, like a 7 Samurai style, to collect other witches to form a coven to go on the witch's road.
Yeah. So for Agatha to get her powers back, she has to go on the witch's road, a journey. And at the end of the journey, she'll get her powers back. But she can't go on that journey unless she has a coven. And the episode is her gathering it. We talk about queer baiting, about just needing to establish that Teen is gay. So him and Agatha are in a car. His cell phone rings. He looks at the cell phone. It says boyfriend. She says, who is that? He says, no one. There we go. He's gay.
Right. That's it. That's how they show that he's gay. It's kind of,
and in fact, nothing else in the rest of this episode. And I would say even through episode 4, the knowledge that he's gay, it means nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
I mean, but by the way the character talks and acts,
he's gay.
I don't want to say that there is necessarily a gay accent, but he sounds like someone who's effeminate gay. So would I be wrong in saying it that way?
No. And there's a documentary about the gay accent. That's very interesting to watch. Let's see. So in witchcraft, you have to have a coven, but a very specific coven. What I have here is you have you need a divination witch, you need a potion witch, you need a protection witch, and you need a green witch. And this is to me where things start falling apart, because the general audience doesn't know anything about witchcraft. And I don't think Jack Schaefer knows anything
include
about
myself.
witchcraft. Yeah.
It seems like these rules, they have to explain every rule. It's not organic. It's a lot of sitting around a kitchen talking, sitting in a living room talking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talking.
But these rules are set to establish the narrative to where we're going next. It's not like we built a world and the world, these are the rules. The rules are needed as necessary. For example, the reason why you need a divination witch, potion, protection, and green witch, because you need a diverse cast.
They literally have, you've got Catherine Hahn, and then you've got like
Patti LuPone.
I mean, they have white witch, black witch, Asian witch, played by Ali An.
Yeah.
Alice. No, it's Ali An is the.
Yeah, she's the Asian witch.
She plays Alice Wu Gulliver.
Yeah.
Then there's Patti
then
LuPone plays Lilia Calderu, and then Mrs. Hart, Deborah Jo Roop is like a gardener, like she's the
next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Then she's not even a witch. They just kind of bring her along for comic effect.
Yeah.
And then when Aubrey Plaza, if she eventually shows up, she would be the Latino witch.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So then the episode 2 ends with, guess what? It's the episode 3 of The Acolyte is episode 2. They have to sing a song to open the road. It's not an actual road, so they sing like down, 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 down the witch's road, and it's filled with all this sort of whatever. It's as insufferable as the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. So I can't believe that not only is it in two Disney things, you hear like the lesbian witches, but it's also, they have songs to sing.
Yeah.
So we get a song in episode 2.
Yeah. And here's the thing, at D23, they sing the song. We may have seen the clips. They sing it in this episode, and maybe they sing it again. I don't know. But the thing is they're pushing real hard to make this song a thing. To make this the next Disney anthem. And it's not. Except for the chorus, the Down the Witch's Road, which is the title. I don't remember a single thing about this song.
Okay, let me be clear. Since we're talking lesbian witches, when they say going down the witch's road, what do you think that might be code for? If you're going down the witch's road, what are you going to do? Do you hear me? It seems so like it's not coded. It's obvious going down the witch's road. What is being said here? Am I wrong, Alan?
Let me just say this. Let me tell you why I'm a good person. Because I had never thought of that until you brought it up.
How am I a bad
You are a
person?
disgusting man.
Okay, so they sing the song at the end of the episode. They go down the road, which is basically not a road. A little door opens up, and they go down a flight of stairs into an evil forest in episode 3. And then episode 3 and 4, effectively what they're doing is going to escape rooms. So in episode 3, they go to a house where everything is soft, muted beige colors.
Yeah, let me address that because because this is a parallel to WandaVision, because each house has a theme. They have a trial. Is transformed. So this is kind of like 60s deco.
No, that's
sorry,
4.
70s deco. What?
That's 4.
Yeah, that's right.
Episode 3. So what they're doing, going down the witch's road, they have to confront trials. The first house is a like basic house with cream colors, beige colors. So their wardrobe changes when they go to each house, which is such a, I mean, they're all enamored with it. Look at my new wardrobe. We're all in these beige colors. We have different hairdos. It's very
it's very like Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
It's the big bouffant hair and the beige and the very stylistic house.
The styles. So they go in, and what do they find? A bottle of wine. When you're wearing muted cream colors, there's always a danger, right? If you're wearing white and you're drinking wine, you might spill some red wine. So they drink wine and are poisoned and must somehow, break the spell of the poison. They figure it out.
Yeah, it's an escape room.
It's an escape room. And then we get to episode 4, and they go into this like you said, Frank Lloyd Wright house, 1960s. They're all redressed as like rock and rollers.
Yeah.
It's a
Austin
different
Powers.
type. What?
Like Austin Powers.
Like a 60s, Austin Powers, rock and roll. You have to play a song at the end. It's another escape room. These trials are a series of escape rooms. And episode 4 ends with, we're giving broad strokes, folks. So to speak.
Because you're about to get really specific with this one.
So then we get to in episode 4, Aubrey Plaza's character Rio and Agatha have a moment. They get right up to they're about to kiss. There is hot lesbian attraction energy here, which gets interrupted, whatever. But
by the task at hand.
Yes, by the task at hand. But is this what the show is going to be in episodes 5 through, I don't know, how many episodes are there?
9 episodes.
9. So are we going to get now escape rooms for the following episodes? The episodes are, by the way, 40 minutes, about 30 minutes when you cut the
ending
previously on, and the credits are long. So that's what episode 4 is. Another trial involving they each have to play rock songs, and they don't just play a tune. They play the whole song. You can see how proud they are of the wardrobe, of the design of the house, of the music. It's very
rock interpretation of the song.
It's very leaning into the intended audience, which, as I said,
is not
not us. What do you think of episode? Episode 3 and 4 are very similar. 3 and 4 are very similar.
Yeah,
because there is
again everything that happens, every little step, every next step, is done for the sake of narrative. You go from A to B to C, and again, we're not world building here. We're not world building. We're just creating a reason to go to the next step in the story. Like in episode 3 comes the potions witch, which is played by Sashir Zameda. She has to create a potion. If there's ever twice, if there's ever a problem that needs to be solved, a potion. And then she has to go get ingredients. Well, what ingredients do you get? Well, again, we'll just make it up on the spot. Eye of Newt. Literally, she has to get Eye of Newt. She has to go get all these things. And again, the reason I'm not connected to this at all is because I don't understand this world. It's just being presented to me, and it makes no sense.
Yes, they never did world building with this to tell you what the rules are. That's why it feels like it's all being made up on the spot. Then they need like a pluck of hair of each of their hairs to throw in the potion. It's just like you're not invested because you don't know what the stakes are.
Yeah. And then if we go back to the interview with Jack Schaefer on the red carpet about this being the gayest series ever, she talks about sisterhood. She talks about love and all that stuff. That's the themes of these escape rooms and how they solve it. If I'm going to spoil episode 3, the issue was teamwork, that everyone had to drink the poison. And if one person didn't, then there was consequences for everyone else. That's the moral of that episode.
And then also when they drink the wine in episode 3, their faces get like someone who's had too much plastic surgery.
Yeah, and that's the comedy. That's the comedy part of this.
That's the comedy part. So, look, I don't know that we'll review the whole series. We'll probably, maybe when we get to episode 5.
If it hits Acolyte bad, we'll keep talking about it.
Well,
I know.
I don't know. It's not. Here's the thing. It is not going to be as bad as The Acolyte. Here's why. This series is siloed. It's its own little adventure in its own little world. It has no repercussions on legacy characters like, ones we care about. So I don't think this show is going to matter in the end. I don't think it's going to matter.
The reason this show isn't lore breaking is because there's no lore to break.
Right. It's all made up bullshit.
Yeah. It's so siloed from Marvel. This isn't Marvel. It's Hocus Pocus 3.
So it's going to be like boring, and probably the reaction will be who cares? Not as bad as the damage of the Acolyte to Star Wars as a brand.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know why they didn't drop all the episodes in one day.
Because they wanted to end it on Halloween.
Right. So
yeah.
Here it is. I expect episode 5 will be another clever escape room, just like episode 3 and 4. So there you go.
Here's the thing. The reason the show, and I mentioned it before, doesn't work is because there's nothing new about it. This seems to be a step back in terms of quality writing. Look, you can go back to Star Trek, the original series. That's the show in the sense of, there's a mission. They go to a planet and they bring up an issue about humanity. And they use this planet to kind of explore that issue as it relates to us as people. And we're engaged with the idea and the philosophy, or the idea and the moral question that it asks. And so us as an audience, we're engaged in that. And that's why Star Trek endured as long as it was. This show attempts to do something like that, but the writer just doesn't know how to pull that off. And we have a show like this. It tries to say something and says nothing in the process.
Well, I think the big question is this the gayest show in the like, okay, Alan, I'm being very serious.
Yes.
Is this the gayest Marvel show?
Okay. So we have seen the first 4 episodes, and I will say it's not that gay. It's something you've seen in other things. So if this show is the gayest Marvel show ever, if it's the gayest, it'll happen in the back end.
Did you post that on Twitter? I'll just say this. It's the gayest in the sense that there's Agatha and Rio are gay and have attraction to each other.
Mm-hmm. And then Teen
is also gay.
Because we couldn't tell by the way he acted, we had to get it revealed to us.
We had to get a line or in the show that he's gay. It's the gayest. Does that make it the worst? Not necessarily.
No, it's secret. It's still better than Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in spite of whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care about if it's the gayest, if it's the best or entertaining. That's what I care about. I don't care that it's gay, honestly. They got to get that guy from Variety on the red carpet. Give him a part in the show. Make him a character, or have him in the show.
I mean, if you watch the rest of those Variety red carpet interviews, we haven't seen the gayest it can be. This has been Disney's strategy all along for us critics. They give you the first few episodes, then they lull you into maybe it's a good show, and then the rest of the episodes release, and you realize, oh, you got fooled. It's a horrible show. They can't stick the landing.
Yeah. Let's go to your comments here, starting from the top.
All right, from M. Spencer for 2. Willow was the OG lesbian witch. More hot witches.
Yeah, I forgot about Willow. So
did Disney.
It's like, of course it's going to be gay. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thanks, M. Spencer.
Spidey Sensei 2 for 5. Chris, if you haven't done so already, please see the OG Danish version of Speak No Evil. It's 10 times better than the remake.
Thank you, Spidey Sense. My understanding is it's on Hulu, which I have. So thank you.
David Smart for 10. One more question. I'm thinking about being a YouTuber. Can you give me any suggestions? Because I think the Fellowship is awesome, and I think my channel will be called The Smart Review.
Well, if since your name is Smart, I think that's a good name for your channel. I would say just start doing it. Don't get a good mic because sound quality is better than camera. If Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has taught us anything, just as long as audio is good, your camera can be garbage. So, I would do that, and then make your reviews very concise and be consistent. So if it's every Tuesday, it's every Tuesday.
Yep.
Thanks, David.
Albert Not a Retro for 5 Canadian. This just in. Because of Agatha and the Acolyte, Jim J. Bullock has renounced his homosexuality. This has been the Onion News.
Thanks, Albert.
Is he still alive? Magnum Norse for 5. What is this Agatha you speak of? Disney? Blah.
Thank you.
Bruce Leroy Jenkins for 5. If we get another witch-centric show from Marvel/Disney after Agatha, next D-Files will be how activist witches infiltrated Disney.
I really think the show is a reflection of the team who made it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this started during the pandemic, so the foundation was laid long ago. J Nemo for 499. Good luck with this one, Alan. Which witch is which will switch and put a hitch in the witch's plan?
Well, Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
think I was surprised by anything.
Yeah. I mean, the identity of teen, I don't think is they're playing it as this big surprise. I think we know who it is.
Oh, who is it, Alan?
Oh no! If I were to guess, maybe Wiccan, the other gay teen witch, who's Wanda's son. Krizik for 20. I'm saddened that the show couldn't have been helmed by better production folks, with great products that have been witch-based for kids, ranging from Kiki's Delivery Service to Tim Curry's The Worst Witch. This is sad.
Well, I don't think this show needed to be made to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I think people were caught up in WandaVision, the first Marvel Disney Plus show. It surprised people. It was very inventive.
Mm-hmm.
And Catherine Hahn's character was really good in that show. And so people were so surprised it got, well, let's do a spinoff. And then maybe it was too soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, Krizik.
Yeah. Albert Not a Retro for 2. Bullock is alive. He's 69 years of age.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Just Some Guy 542. Which is worse, Acolyte or this?
Acolyte.
Acolyte.
Yeah, Acolyte is worse. This at least, I like some of the actresses. I like Catherine Hahn. Seriously, Aubrey Plaza. The just better cast for sure.
Okay. Mars Monkey Max. Because this is what Disney does now, they will make teen dramas with homosexual baiting.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a big thing. ADL's 24. Take the landing strip to the Witch's Road and follow the yellow bricks all the way through the dark jungle to find your ultimate prize. I don't understand that.
Read it again.
What? Take the landing strip to the Witch's Road and follow the yellow bricks all the way through the dark jungle to find your ultimate prize. I don't understand. Is this a parody of The Wizard of Oz or something?
I think they're talking about going down on each other.
Okay. Rathix 7 for 5. Let's keep it real for a second. Most fans weren't asking for an Agatha solo series.
Wraith X7, you are correct. People were not asking for this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those opportunities that Hollywood tends to do. Oh, what a great great character from WandaVision. Let's give her a series. Done. Thomas Pickett. I'm sorry. Hey, it's me in HD. Agatha sounds like a single feminist cat lady fever dream. Barf, 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 barf.
That is accurate. That is accurate for sure. So, all right. Well, you know
You're
what?
not going to get that super chat?
Oh, where? I'm sorry. Did I miss it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. Thomas Pickett for 2. Isn't South Pacific the most gay show? No.
Alan, you know a Broadway.
Yes. No. There's nothing like a dame. How is that gay? I expect longer and I expect bigger. Longer, bigger. Long, bigger. Bigger. Longer, bigger.
You're giving me a strange look there, Alan. I'm not sure about all of that.
Yeah.
All right. So that about wraps it up.
Okay. And then
wait, one more.
Maximus Renatus for 499. I probably said that wrong. I like to be the sausage in the middle of that Plaza Han sandwich.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
A lot of those characters seem familiar.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it looks like when you Google me. Albert Not a Retro for 2. If there's yellow bricks, leave and never go back.
Well, we will pick it up talking about episode 5 and more as the show unfolds, but this is not going to do the damage that Acolyte did to the Star Wars brand. I think this will be over at the end of Halloween. I don't know that a lot of people are going to talk about it. Not as much as Acolyte. So,
I mean, we could have easily given up on Acolyte, but it just got worse.
It got
profoundly worse.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. I want to thank our mods, Lord Thoth. Want to thank Atomic Lori, Glenn Nuccio, our producer. Want to thank all of you for your generous super chats. We will be back on Friday for our Film Threat live cast. We are reviewing, man, a lot of good stuff. The Substance, Transformers 1. It's going to be in theaters this weekend. Alan saw a movie called The Critic. A couple other films that are opening. It's going to be a busy day. Oh, wait, here we go.
John Thomas for 5. Aubrey was in a weird comedy playing a witch hiding in a medieval convent, seducing nuns, LOL. Other half of Shaken is S-Priest. I forgot the name of that movie.
She's in a really good indie movie called Ingrid Goes West. So look up Aubrey and Ingrid. I think the reason that this show is just better than Acolyte is cast. Cast is our people, actors you actually like in other things. Whereas the Acolyte was Leslie Headland's friends.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
All right.
All right. So we'll be back on Friday with our show. Lots of reviews. Did I miss anything, Alan?
Yeah, we got to thank our mods if we have that. I don't know.
It's there.
Oh, but we do have a super chat from Magnum Norse for 10. Well, at least women in USA can actually speak their mind. Psycho lady. Freedom doesn't mean sin automatically, but without freedom, you can't be great.
Well, there you are. Thank you for that. And we will be back.
Okay. Yeah.
Friday for our review show.
You're tired, aren't you?
I'm
You're tired, aren't you?
I did the nooner today. Then I did an interview in between that. I interviewed, we'll put it up in a week or so. I interviewed the director of Psycho Gorman. He has a new movie coming out called Frankie Freako. It's really good. So I interviewed him, and then I did this show, and I'm tired because I watched 4 episodes of Agatha. So there you go. All right. See you Friday, everybody. Alan.
Let's get out of here.